Her name is Ella Hunt.
Ella Hunt, you are fantastic. And I think, it's just so great. All the performances are wonderful. The story is just so good. And it's complicated. And there's all of the characters are really good. The performances are really good. And like you said, you're gonna fall in love with these characters. And because you know it's a zombie movie, you might lose some people along the way. And it is absolutely gut-wrenching when certain characters pass on. And I think you might cry now.
It's so good.
Oh.
It probably just taps in the fact that I lost my dad. So I don't know. There's a lot of couple moments. Yeah, I'm going to cry. It's so good.
Hey Weirdos, welcome to our part 2 video of our 31 Days of Horror 2024. J-Bone.
He's here with us today.
Yes. Little trinket you picked up when we went to HorrorCon a couple weeks ago.
It's pretty cool.
So if you've just seen us for the first time, my name is Scott Smith and my wife is with me.
Shannon Smith. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, that's it. The names aren't fake.
They're not fake. Checking into hotels was fun.
Because if they were fake, who would pick Smith?
Yeah, you should have taken my last name.
Shut up. Still can't. No stopping me.
Yeah, you could. Let's do it.
Let's get right into it. So this video is going to be days 16 to days 31 and all of the videos that we watched during that time. And there's some gems, there's some classics, and there's some sacks of bad candy.
Razor blade candy.
Razor blade candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna just wanted to thank you for tuning in. It's YouTube. You clicked on a button if you were interested. But thanks for watching. I'd love it if you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because we got more videos coming up. Maybe some more movie reviews. Certainly some more adventures that we've been doing. So we've got some Comic-Cons that we've gone to recently. HorrorCon in Washington State, which was amazing. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and click that notification button.
And we can also mention that this is the first podcast back.
Yes.
In a very long time.
Very long time.
It's been, I don't even know how long it's been.
I don't want to look it up.
Since the big C. COVID.
Candy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when we started up.
That is when we started.
Not started, but started up doing it again. So.
Yeah. So we're back in the groove, hopefully.
Yep.
So let's get right into it. Our first movie, which is day 16. Rabid Grannies. When a demonic present given to by their black sheep nephew, two kindly old grannies are transformed into demons who proceed to gorily knock off their greedy relatives. From 1988.
Which already made us pick it. Also, the cover made us pick it.
Yeah, great poster.
I mean, I think they're sisters, right? The two grannies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, birthday party for the grannies. Family comes together. Kind of the worst folks, and they're just waiting for these two people to die so that they can get all the grannies' money.
It's a typical family.
A typical family. In some instances.
It is.
What did you think?
70-30.
What did you think of real grannies? Rabid grannies, sorry.
It does look like that. It also looks like rad grannies, but yeah.
I'd watch that too.
I like this movie because it has the practical effects in it, which to me just brings back all the 80s vibes. So many weird moments. It's so weird I liked it.
Yeah.
In a good way, because there's things that we just watched recently that were weird, but that just was weird in general, a weird choice. But this, I like this one. I think it was fun. It was kind of gross, with the practical magic.
Oh, there's another movie.
Practical effects and the weird choices they made the grannies do, like hanging from chandeliers, all creepy like. Because they turned into they're demons at this point. So they're turning into monsters with big claws, and I don't know. It was just fun. And they weren't some movies stay away from kids. They were killing everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say. Actually, I was just reading their tagline. It says, "They just love their grandchildren. ... Well done."
Oh, I like the voice work there.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. You're going to get that.
Is this an accompaniment to the Thanksgiving movie that we haven't watched yet?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We could have watched that on Canadian Thanksgiving, but now we're going to watch
can.
it on American
Christmas
Thanksgiving.
Day.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you score this movie?
I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
Because there is like epic horror movies, and I don't want to like downgrade those by giving this a 4.
Yeah.
I think a 3, and it's worth watching. I'd say watch it because it's ridiculous, and if you like practical effects, it's just funny. 2 grannies killing their family members.
And I think that's it. We talked about this in the first video that we did, which is just basically some of these are not great movies, but they're just a lot of fun, and you got to factor in points for the fun factor. It's enjoyable.
Factor.
Yeah. And that's exactly what this is. I think you're a little bit more generous. I gave it 2 jack-o'-lanterns for no other reason. I thought some of the deaths were pretty funny. This wasn't like again, not a super great movie, but enjoyable enough, but still 2 stars.
I might be able to convince you to go up a star.
Okay.
You didn't fall asleep.
True.
And you laughed quite a lot.
Yeah, and I also keep using the word star instead of jack-o'-lantern, so I need to get my business together.
Oh, yeah. Did I say jack-o'-lanterns?
You were good.
Okay.
I was not.
Okay. So I remember you quite enjoying this. That's all I'm saying.
Damn it. Okay, I'm a 3. I'm a flip-flopper, and I'm going to enjoy it.
He listens to his wife.
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry, I'm going to edit this, and it'll make it look like I've been 3 the whole time.
3 what?
3 jack-o'-lanterns.
There you go.
So,
I think with 3 jack-o'-lanterns, though, you should, 3 or above should get.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right here, 3. Wait, this is my 3. Can you put them there?
I don't even know how I'm going to do them yet. So
I don't know.
We'll figure that out.
We'll see. Anyway, okay, I say watch this.
Thoroughly enjoyable, a fun time. Check it out.
Yeah, and it does say it's a satire, comedy, horror. So that probably is a good explanation of the movie.
Yeah. So moving on quickly, we're going to get right on to day 17, which is Elvira's Haunted Hills. Set back in 1851 in the Carpathia Mountains of Romania, Elvira, the mistress of the dark, en route to Paris with her maidservant Zuzu for a can-can review, stopped for the night in the haunted castle owned by a certain Vladimir Helsebus, whose long-dead wife bears an eerie resemblance to Elvira.
This movie, we watched this because we were going to MonsterCon. I wish there was a MonsterCon.
Kind of is.
Well, just MonsterCon, so it's all monsters.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Sign me up.
Is there a DinoCon? Wait, I'm getting off topic.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so we were going to HorrorCon in Puyallup. It's called Elvira's HorrorCon. And I wanted to rewatch things I haven't seen in a while and get caught up, so we watched this. This was a part of it. We made this a part. And it was totally worth it because it was funny. She's so funny. I love her parody. It's basically a parody comedy horror, and it's just fun. I'm just gonna mention one moment because we don't want to get to scenes, but like there was a moment where she was standing in the basement and she put her boobies in front of a giant like magnifying glass.
Oh, right.
So funny. Like,
Yeah.
I love it's a woman doing this kind of stuff because often it's men doing this kind of stuff. And I just find it hilarious. Like, it's good. I just loved it. Totally worth watching. I don't know. What did you think?
So I'm familiar with Elvira, played by Cassandra Patterson or Peterson? Peterson. And I've listened to a couple podcasts of hers, but I've never really seen her movies. Like I've seen clips. I've seen the shows that she hosted there where she hosted in front of other, but I've never seen one of her whole things. So
really? Not even like her television show where she introduced.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen clips of that. That wasn't something that I grew up with.
I was obsessed
never
with that.
Seen.
Yeah, that was all me. Yeah.
So this was a really cool experience. I didn't realize how funny and how kind of slapsticky these movies were going to be, and I really, really enjoyed this movie. And I'm really impressed with her. We didn't get a chance to meet with her, but this weekend or that weekend. But whatever. In terms of this movie,
we saw her.
Yeah, we did see her.
Yeah.
I really
the lines were long,
but I really enjoyed this movie. It was really slapsticky. It was funny. It was clever. It was a fun, little, enjoyable ride. and I'm gonna give it 3 jack-o'-lanterns because I just really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would do the same. 3 jack-o'-lanterns.
And I almost wanted to watch another one the next night, but then I think we decided to watch something else instead. But I think in the future, I'm definitely gonna check out more of her movies.
Yeah, there's a ton we can. There's so many things she's done. She's an excellent businesswoman, to be honest. She owns her own rights, and she's like 72.
Looks fantastic.
And she's still rocking a business of her name. Like, that is one hell of a smart woman, I swear. Wish we would have stood in line and just waited with all the people. She was that popular. So I wanted her coffee table book. But Christmas present? You think?
Yeah, that's true. And if you do order her book, she'll sign that and send it to you?
Yeah.
Is that right? So that's kind of cool. And I think in the moment, that's what we were thinking.
You can get personalized or just a signature. Signature's a little cheaper. Personalized is like $5 or $10 more. Right. So
probably worth it.
Might as well get personalized.
But really cool. And I enjoyed this movie.
I admire her a lot. So next year, it'll be Elvira's HorrorCon again. So next year, I will meet her. I had to pick Juliette Lewis this time. So
that's true. If you want to, well, there's no little video of us with Juliette Lewis, but
there will be hopefully soon.
Yeah.
One more. Okay.
Yeah, that was. I don't feel like Juliette Lewis goes to many cons. So.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had to.
There's a good chance at a Comic-Con called Elvira Presents Washington State HorrorCon, Elvira will be there the following year.
I hope so. I hope they don't change it. I hope it's not someone else.
It could be Juliette Lewis's.
I think she brought the kids to the play yard.
Huh?
What is it called? Bring the kids to the playground?
Schoolyard?
Schoolyard?
You're talking about?
Yeah. She brought the people to the con.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Just based on how packed it was and how busy her lines were.
She didn't like on, and she was great.
Yeah.
So that was day 17. Would you'd recommend this movie for folks to watch?
Oh, hell yeah. I recommend it all day long. Like any of her movies, I highly recommend. And you know what? It's really hard, a woman in comedy anyway, and to take her seriously. So I think it's awesome. You should watch it.
So that brings us to day 18, which is 2015's Hell House, LLC. 5 years after an unexplained malfunction causes the death of 15 tour goers and the staff on the opening night of a Halloween haunted house tour, a documentary crew travels back to the scene of the tragedy to find out what really happened. I actually really spent a lot of time thinking about this movie. This one really kind of stuck with me. I mean, apparently I'm a big found footage fan.
Apparently.
This year anyways.
Yeah.
But I really... Again, it stuck with me. I was creeped out enough. When I went to bed that night, I knew it was going to happen.
Yep.
And this movie's got lots of people just standing in corners and stuff. And it's got all sorts of creep. And this was the one that there were moments where I was getting the full body tingles, which only happened once in the 31 days that we watched. Maybe twice in the 31 days of watching
none of those things affect me. I might go on with my day. I'm like, I'm cool.
Well,
yeah,
it's a nightmare in here, and
apparently
these things trigger it.
you do get affected a lot from movies. You do end up waking up in terror,
especially ghosty things.
Ghosty things scare me, but not. I like ghosty things, but it scares me in a good way. It's like, ooh, want to play a game?
Right.
Like that. I'm excited. If I see a ghost, I'm probably pretty excited, unless it's gonna kill me.
Okay, so that aside, what did you think of this movie then?
I love this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I don't remember. I don't think there's anything weird in it I didn't like. Everything was messed up. We had to watch the bonus footage to find out what happened to the girl in the basement.
Right.
Because that's where stuff went down. A good portion.
There was also a director's cut of this, and we didn't know that when we watched it.
Yeah,
and
we kind of fast forwarded through the directors to find out what that was.
Which I don't know if there was much. Just maybe
no.
Some extra
What
shots.
we found out is what happened to her.
Oh,
and
really?
She went into the hole of hell.
Oh, is that
it
not?
Swallowed her.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's the demon that came out of the hole took her in. So I didn't know what happened to her. I was like, no one undid that poor girl. Why would you really handcuff her to the wall? Like they handcuffed her for the scene that they were doing in the basement. But you would literally, any real haunted house would do fake handcuffs so she can break away.
Yeah.
Why would you put a woman in that situation with people coming into a basement?
Right.
She had a clown man watching over her, but that didn't go well.
Yeah.
He took off right at the beginning, when stuff was going down.
Basically, I thought it was a really interesting take. I thought, like, I'm getting angry at these people in this movie because there's moments where they're setting this stuff up where they're seeing things. It's like, just turn all the lights on. Why don't you guys just turn the lights back on? Because we know lights protect you. Right?
Yeah.
But everything was so dark and it was fun. And I mean, I guess that's what you want out of a fun horror movie is you're getting into it. And I certainly was interested in the story. And there were some great creepy moments that really stuck with me. And again, I'm giving this movie 4 jack-o'-lanterns because I just thought it wasn't perfect, but I absolutely liked it.
I thought it was good. I don't think there was really any flaws.
Does that mean you're giving it 5?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4 jack-o'-lanterns. And I quite enjoyed it. You didn't fall asleep. I didn't look at my phone the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing.
I think if I put my phone down and don't pick it up, that means I liked it.
Right.
So I'm considering watching the other ones, but I was told that from a few people that the other ones aren't as good.
I don't know if you can capture that magic again. Mm-mm. And we watched a couple of the trailers, and it just...
It's a repetitive...
You're trying to cash in on something, and the spark's already been captured.
That's not the problem with some of these. Yeah. They try to keep doing it, and they just do the same story with different people, and it just doesn't... It's like Saw. I can complain about Saw all day long. They just keep doing the same damn story. I'd say watch this. And also, there's so many Hell Houses that aren't related.
Because there was like a 1950s one or something.
I would like to watch that one.
Or I don't know if it was that old. Maybe it's not.
There
was
a 60s one that I think might have been adapted.
Totally different story.
No, but kind of the same idea, but adapted into this.
Okay.
But like, I would like to watch the 60s one because it looks really good because it's also called Hell House. Mm-hmm. And there's other things. Anyway, there's too many Hell Houses out there. So look for a Hell House LLC. That's the right one.
Yeah.
From, what is it, 2015.
So day 19, Tucker and Dale versus Evil from 2010. And I'm going to read the description, but I'm going to tell you, this is already one of my top favorites. Mm-hmm. I love this movie. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
2 lovable hillbillies are headed to their fixer-upper vacation cabin to drink some beer and do some fishing and have a good time. But when they run into a group of preppy college kids who assume from their looks that they must be inbred, chainsaw-wielding killers, Tucker and Dale's vacation takes a bloody and hilarious turn for the worse. Man, did I like this movie. In fact, I'm going to change that to love this movie.
I love this movie. It was gory in a good way. It was so much misunderstanding of each other. It's so good. I'd probably watch this again at some point.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. Did they make another one? I don't know. There was talk.
Yeah, I think there is talk, but this, again, was it really 2010?
They said they were going to do one again unless the script was good.
Right. I think they're close.
It was 2010.
Okay. So it's been quite a bit of time.
I'm watching the trailer while we're talking about this.
These guys are timeless. This is what we were talking about in the last video where there's certain kind of gore, but then when the gore is real gory, but it makes me laugh, I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, I did do that kind of thing, but then immediately after that, I'm laughing at it. So either I'm a psycho killer or gore comedy is just my bag.
I think gore comedy is just everyone's bag. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I could talk about this movie all day long because it's so damn funny, and I'm watching it now, and I want to watch it again right now. I'm surprised we haven't found this movie before. It's 2010, and I don't know what's wrong with this because we go through a giant database of movies on different platforms, and I don't know how this got lost.
I think we watched this on Shudder, I believe, so maybe this movie just has been not necessarily available to stream prior to this year. I don't know, but you're right. Because we're digging through a lot of stuff. We've watched 31 days of movies. This is the 4th year that we've been doing this. So you're 100% right. Yeah. I'm going to give this movie 5 jack-o'-lanterns. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with this movie.
Same. 5 jack-o'-lanterns for me. There's no, this is right up there with one of my favorite movies, like Trick or Treat and stuff. Like this is
a must watch.
I think my must-watch every Halloween, this is going to go on there with Trick or Treat and a bunch of other movies we have.
And this year we actually made a conscious decision to not watch Trick or Treat.
I still want to watch it.
We can.
I just haven't had time.
We're just after Halloween now, but
well, because we went away.
Yeah.
We were 3 movies behind, so we had to catch up.
Yeah.
And so it's just November. I can still watch Trick or Treat.
Yes. But you're right. I would watch this again anytime.
It was good. It made me laugh so hard. I don't even want to go over the scenes too much because I feel like
No, it's a gem.
It's a gem, and they're very surprising scenes, and it's
all
good.
the performances are great. I thought the kids were great. You can't call them kids. College kids, let's just say. I thought they were all awesome. What is the name of the dude? Alan Tudyk.
Yes, that guy.
Alan Tudyk, and then Tyler what?
Tyler Ladine?
Yeah, he's been in a ton of stuff, but I mean, Alan Tudyk, just like, come on, man. The guy is amazing in absolutely everything.
And they're the ones who said, if the script is good enough, we'll do it. If it's not, they won't. Like, it has to be as good as this one. And I agree. Don't just put out any
Honestly,
damn movie.
I don't know how you could recapture it, but I believe the people behind this could come up with something good. It's tough. You're right. You've got to knock this out of the park to even get this to be.
How many times can you accidentally kill a bunch of people?
Or a bunch of people kill themselves.
How many times can that happen? It's like that's what I'm saying. Some movies, no one has that much drama in their life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it may not happen ever, but I'll just rewatch this one over and over again.
Okay, we both gave it 5 pumpkins.
Yep.
We're cranking right along. Okay, day 20, and the size says it all. And I picked this one. This is
I picked this too.
Did you?
Based on the poster, yes, I did.
Based on the title and the poster, it sounds like a 5-star movie.
And it wasn't
already.
this poster; it was the poster of his face.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Maniac Cop, the 1988 classic horror action movie.
A killer dressed in a police uniform begins murdering innocent people on the streets of New York City. Sounds like a banger, but
yeah.
was not a banger.
I was so hopeful for this movie because the trailer looked amazing. I'm really torn between giving this 3 or 4 jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh.
And there's things that happen in this movie that don't make a lot of sense. Like the cop really starts putting stuff together way too quickly.
Yeah.
There's little things like that. We should also point out that this movie stars Tom Atkins and Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is Jack Forrest. He's the cop. And again, it's just I really like this movie. I didn't love it. Like there's a couple things on here. It felt really drawn out at times, but like the setups are good. It's a fun idea. There was just some things that happen that just was like, whoa, what's going on? How does he know that? Like it was just some funny things like that.
Yeah.
Curious to know.
I love that Bruce Campbell was in this, and even that guy who plays the cop,
Atkins.
Okay, they were both fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm only going to give this a 2 jack-o'-lanterns.
Wow. Okay.
Only because I was so excited for this. And it's like meeting your dad for the first time that you never met in your life, and you meet them and they're disappointing. And I think this could work if someone remade this.
Oh, interesting.
There were some funny, good parts, and there were some really good parts, but I don't think it's enough. I think we struggled getting through it.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. There's even a number 2, and we probably won't go there unless they improved it. Oh my God, is there more? Wait, okay. I thought I saw like 5 more.
I believe there is a couple.
There's at least one
There's
more.
At least one, I think possibly 2.
Maybe I don't know if we'll ever go.
Oh, I'm not. No, I have no intention to watch it.
I mean, sometimes the number 2 gets better, and that will explain later in another review we do. I like the vibe of the movie. I like the time frame it was set in. There was moments I liked about it, but at the end of the day, I just thought it wasn't there. And I really love stupid ass movies. I love movies that are cheesy, like Piranha. I'm there for it.
Yeah.
Like I love, what is that movie one? The Beaver one? Zombeaver?
Yeah.
I'm there for it.
This movie might have been that thing where it's a little bit better, so it didn't have the shitty movie fun factor behind it. Like it took itself serious.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it is. I mean, now that you showed me the picture, I think what happened to me the first time, which I was so excited about the title, and I just want to say Maniac Cop.
I want to say.
I got swelled up in the excitement, which is why I'm thinking that it was a 4. But I'm gonna go dial it back to a 3 because there is some.
You were gonna give it a 4?
Yeah, because again, I just
compared
got
to the
wrapped
other one
up.
we just reviewed.
I know. You're right. You're right. And it was a bit of a slog to get through, and there was some sort of mystery, and it's not yelling, but I was still talking at the TV about things. But then again, it was more about how did he figure that out, and how did he know? He wouldn't have known that.
And also that Tom Atkins?
Yeah.
Man, has he played a cop all his life?
Every movie.
Every movie. Best cop or firefighter.
Yeah.
Like the lead firefighter.
Yeah. Classic cop actor.
He was in Oz.
Oh, the TV show Oz?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a mayor.
I watched that. Ah, see?
Always plays an authority figure.
Exactly.
Okay. What did I say?
You gave this a 2.
I gave it a 2 because the poster drawed me in, and there were some funny moments, and it was Bruce Campbell, and I don't know. I kind of want someone to remake this.
Who do you think should be Maniac Cop if you were to remake this movie?
Bruce Campbell. Now.
Still Bruce Campbell.
Somebody.
Interesting.
I don't know.
And who would the cop be?
I just said Bruce Campbell. I want him to be the cop.
Who's going to play the
cop?
The Tom Atkins character?
I don't know. Who makes a good cop now? Who's a good cop figure?
I don't know.
It's got to be the old school cop who's been there for 30 years and doesn't take any shit.
Yeah, like a Dennis Franz kind of guy. But I don't know. Is Dennis Franz still alive?
I love that we're going to have this, try and get this remade.
I believe this is why you remake movies. You don't remake a good movie. Don't remake Psycho, which they did. Remake movie that had potential, but for whatever reason didn't get executed properly. A Maniac Cop could be the one.
I feel like I'm going to bring up your Psycho thing for a minute. I feel like remaking a movie like Psycho is insulting to the person who made it. You don't remake movies that are already like perfection. You just don't. You don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
Some good moments, I guess good moments, but not enough to like come back for a visit.
Well, I'll stay with my generous score of a 3. Which is kind of ridiculous. This movie doesn't really deserve 3 jack-o'-lanterns.
I'm still sticking with 2.
Okay.
Day 21, when an island off the coast of Ireland is invaded by blood-sucking aliens, the heroes discover that getting drunk is the only way to survive.
Yeah.
I love your laughing already. It's so good. And it's an Irish movie, I guess. It's supposed to be a dark comedy, parody, horror, thriller, sci-fi, so many alien invasion, all those things. But it's good. It's just, if you like any kind of British, like, movies like this, or even Ireland's the same way. There's some really good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this movie.
First of all, super offensive to Irish people.
What do you mean?
The have to be drunk, and if you're drunk, you'll survive. No, I'm just cheesing. This movie.
I was looking, going,
what is wrong with you?
What did I just say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. I mean, such a great concept. Really great intro.
Some disgusting scenes.
Some just really fun things. I mean, even the title. The title's a little cheesy, but it overall
what would you call it, though?
Just works. Like, it really just works. This is funny movie. Well executed, great performances, great concept. I'm gonna give it 5 jack-o'-lanterns. There's nothing wrong with this movie, man.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's an interesting new concept I haven't heard anyone do. I'd probably give it 5 jack-o'-lanterns too, because it made me laugh. It was disgusting. The concept was amazing because you have to be drunk for it not to mess with you, because it doesn't like alcohol
in bodies. Yeah.
In bodies, which was freaking great. I think also this guy was struggling, but he's a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
So he didn't drink, I don't
know. No, the female cop that arrives here, she doesn't drink.
Yeah.
And she, of course, they have to get her drunk in order to
So she got really
protect
drunk.
her.
So she was like falling downstairs, and we're like, oh God, she's going to be, look, the way she made her fall downstairs and stuff was horrific. And she got up and she jumped up. She's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like it's good. I I don't know if there's anything to say about this besides
No.
it's fantastic and go watch it. It's
I
called
agree.
Grabbers.
I agree.
Yeah.
2012, right?
Yeah,
Again,
2012.
another one
and
of
it
these,
says not rated.
another one of these great movies that we just had never heard about, just stumbled upon,
Mm-hmm.
and instantly, this
Yeah.
is a go. Add this to a list.
Yes, add it for sure. Did we already see our rating? 5
Yeah,
stars?
we both gave it
Or
5 jack-o'-lanterns.
5 jack-o'-lanterns. 5 jack-o'-lanterns. 5.
Damn it, I'm not doing my button work.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll do
Mr.
better.
McButtons.
I'll do
buttons.
better. All right.
Okay, what's
Moving
the next
on.
one?
So moving on to day 22 is 2070's horror comedy musical,
Didn't even think. Why?
Anna and the Apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse threatens the sleepy town of Little Haven. At Christmas, it's a Christmas movie, forcing Anna and her friends to fight, slash, and sing their way to survival, facing the undead in a desperate race to reach their loved ones. But they soon discover that no one is safe in the new world. And with civilization falling apart around them, the only people they can truly rely on is each other.
This movie really has it all.
And don't let the musical scare you away. It's not full musical, but it's
When it is,
really good.
this movie still really excels. Also, the backstory of this movie is the writer of this movie made a short version of this, and he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a remake of this movie.
A film close to a dedication to Ryan McHenry. McHenry, who sadly passed away in 2015, wrote and directed a short film, Zombie Musical 2011, from which this feature film is adapted.
Now, with this being a musical, like, this could be sunk immediately because if the songs aren't great or not catchy, or if it feels disjointed, like it's not going to work. But somehow this movie just works. This movie, again, has everything. It's Christmas. The performances are great. The songs are great. The zombie part of this movie is excellent as well.
Okay. I agree with everything you said. The music is really good. I like the music, and I can tell you that how good this movie is. Even as a comedy, I cried multiple times.
Yeah.
I cried. I tried to hide my tears. Didn't happen. That's how much they got deep into the characters of their things. I cried a couple times. I highly, highly recommend this movie.
Yeah.
It is so good. I don't know how many people have seen it. It's getting a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb.
They're wrong.
Which is wrong.
Yeah, they're totally wrong.
It's rated R. It's only an hour and 33 minutes. It's just so good. Like, the fact that it made me cry is enough to...
Mm-hmm. The female lead in this, she is so good. Anna, I can't remember her name. But the story with her dad and her brother, like, it's such a great, well-crafted story.
Her name is Ella Hunt.
Ella Hunt, you are fantastic. And I think, it's just so great. All the performances are wonderful. The story is just so good. And it's complicated. And there's all of the characters are really good. The performances are really good. And like you said, you're gonna fall in love with these characters. And because you know it's a zombie movie, you might lose some people along the way. And it is absolutely gut-wrenching when certain characters pass on. And I think you might cry now.
It's so good.
Oh.
It probably just taps in the fact that I lost my dad. So I don't know. There's a lot of couple moments. Yeah, I'm going to cry. It's so good. It's so good, guys. You got to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how good it was. And we did not pick up our phones once on this.
No. Do you want to start? I think I know what we both gave this movie.
Okay. Yeah, it's 5 jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah, 100%.
1,000 jack-o'-lanterns.
I'm going to give this movie 6 jack-o'-lanterns.
It's so good.
It's a 6 out of 5.
I like this one. And it'd probably be on my list to watch again probably one day. So
definitely. Cool.
one. Yeah.
Total agreement.
Next, you want me to do next day?
Let's do day 23.
The next day is the movie called Next Day. No, I'm kidding. Next day is day 23. It's called Graduation Day from 1981. And it's a mass killer begins murdering students on a school track team after a track runner dies upon completion of a 30-second 200-meter race.
Yeah.
It's a 1981, so we're still kind of in that 70s vibe.
But it lacks any of that 70s kind of cool grit. Feels like a bit of a TV kind of movie.
It kind of does.
Like, it's not great. I wanted this to be so much better. There's things that just, again, don't make sense. They have characters in here that they're really trying to, oh, this person's probably the killer. Oh, this person's probably the killer. Like, everybody's a suspect in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Like, I feel bad giving this movie like a 1 or a 2, but I don't think there's anything great about it.
Yeah. I was trying to think. The kills were... Let's rate
laughable.
Let's rate the kills.
It's got roller skating. It's got...
Yeah, I was just playing the trailer so we can remind ourselves.
Short shorts.
Dolphin shorts.
Yeah.
Dolphin shorts, cool bands, lots of gymnastics, running.
Angry coach.
It's fine. I think I'm middle ground with it. I do like a good cheesy movie. I think for the time, 1981, it was probably a good movie. There's lots of boobies.
Well,
1981, there's definitely going to be boobies.
Here's the thing, though. And this is 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reference 2 other movies that we watched.
Mm-hmm.
1975, The Exorcist, and 1980, The Shining. So, I mean, very different quality in filmmakers. And I guess that's the difference.
Yeah. There were some funny kills, though.
But not enough for it to be wacky, for it to be bad, terrible, great. You know what I mean?
Like, I was just watching the trailer. The band looks awesome.
The band, I think, is a famous band.
They put boobies in the trailer.
Yeah, that's something I've never seen before.
I had to type in my date to watch the trailer, my birth date.
Wow.
Yeah, every trailer I play in every movie we've reviewed, it wants me to put my birth date in.
I guess because they're rated R?
I like the slashing they did on the screen.
Was there anything great about this movie? Was there anything great?
Some of the kills were funny and done really well. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm middle ground on this one.
I also don't think... and this is coming back to me. Movie's called Graduation Day, but this movie takes place over the course of several days, and it doesn't fit.
It was leading up to Graduation Day. I think Graduation Day is when the killer was revealed.
Yeah, and I don't even... It's got problems. I don't even need to think...
I agree it has problems, but... if
I was grading this movie wouldn't graduate. There's your soundbite.
All the kids do not look like they're in high school.
Yes, there's that. I mean, that's widely known as always being the case. The only show that got that right was Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks and Geeks was a perfect example.
I'd rather spend...
I don't think that was 80s, though.
No, but it looked 80s. They captured youth properly. And I'd rather spend the next 5 minutes talking about Freaks and Geeks than ever watching this movie again. If
you're a fan of early 80s movies, maybe watch it because the kills are ridiculous.
I'm going to say no because I think there's better movies in this era.
There is.
Cheesy movies that you could watch.
But look at the
better.
movie we watched, Beach, where the beach sand eats people.
Yes, watch that instead of this.
Sure.
Watch Maniac Cop.
No, I'd rather watch this than Maniac Cop.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I think you forgot about some of the really funny kills. Also, when this football player was running in the woods, he ran so slow.
Yeah.
He was like almost running. Just run in place will make it look like you're running.
But also, all decked out in his football gear.
Yeah, who wears their shoulder pads running?
Right.
For just a jog.
And there's like this park next to the school.
Everyone goes to the woods.
It makes no sense. There's just, it's
in order to kill someone, you have to go into the woods.
Yes, which apparently was right attached to the school. Because I thought they were walking through a park. Again, there's threads in the story that don't add up.
And also back then, just any adult can come on school grounds. Now that today's, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fine. I think I'm middle ground on it. I'll give it a 2. Two jack-o'-lanterns. Just because the kills were funny, like the football coming through the football. I don't even, you can watch it to see what I'm talking about. But
don't watch it.
There were some locker room scenes that were weird. You can kind of guess who the killer is by just seeing their arm in a couple scenes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they didn't do a good job hiding that. Anyway, we can move on.
So day 24 is the 1973 classic, The Exorcist.
When a mysterious entity possesses a young girl, her mother seeks the help of two Catholic priests to save her life.
Now, my relationship with this movie is really based on the poster. Like, that photo was great. I remember, actually, there's two things happening here I'm going to mention. One is the poster. Iconic image. That image is phenomenal. Unbelievable movie poster. Sets the tone. The other side of it is, I remember Reagan, and I remember her in the bed, but I also remember at the time Mad Magazine. So I have the Mad Magazine imagery in my head as well.
The Barf and Reagan?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm so glad we watched this movie because, again, this falls into the category of I probably saw it too young, didn't remember all the details of it. And so watching it again in my adult life was fantastic. But we are now judging a movie that at this point is 51 years old.
I don't really like doing that because
It's hard to, but I don't think you need to. In
there's
this case,
movies that are like 50 years old that I go watch and still fucking holds up.
Absolutely.
Like it's not.
And that's the mark of a great movie as compared to like Graduation Day, which was not a great movie.
But there's Beach.
Beach is amazing. So I think people struggle with this movie now because but I don't know, maybe they don't have appreciation of film or they don't understand what they're seeing. But I think during the time, this movie was super impactful. During this time, people were freaked out.
It was labeled the scariest movie of all time.
People were fainting in the movie theater, apparently.
It was banned.
People committed suicide after watching this movie because they were so
did?
freaked out. Apparently so. Yes.
So never say it's just a movie.
Yeah. What did you think of this movie? And what was the last time you saw it prior to this round?
First time I saw it was a kid. Because what year was it?
73.
73. Actually, yeah, I saw it as a kid, and I wasn't even born yet. I was born in 75, so I saw it at some point in my life, probably around 10 years old, probably, right. I'm assuming.
Probably too young.
I can't remember anything past that because I was drunk. No, I'm kidding. No,
but
the older you get, the things fade when you get older.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're trading memory bank for lower. Anyway.
Right. So did you watch this movie in your 20s or 30s?
I did.
Okay.
I did because I'm the person who sat in my bedroom by myself on Friday.
Loser.
And watched USA Up All Night because I get to watch scary movies.
Okay.
And this was one of the things that played. And so I was obsessed with, like, what are they? You don't know what they're going to play on Friday. You just got to sit there and wait.
Right.
So I would stay up. Everybody's in bed in the house. I have the TV on. Yes, I had a TV in my room. And I would play USA Up All Night and anything that would bring scary movies. Because, like,
right.
The Blob, anything, Twilight Zone, I'd watch it. So this was along the line. So I was so excited to watch this by myself. And I loved it. I remember as a kid, I don't remember it being so slow at the beginning.
Okay.
So, to me, I love this movie, but it's a little slow at the beginning. And I feel like if somebody or a kid or someone tried to watch it today, they would probably not be interested. If you wanted to just watch it right from when shit starts taking off, which is very close to the end,
yeah,
I would say the last 45 minutes.
Yeah,
is when shit happens. It could have been a lesser of a movie, like the time. It's a 2-hour and 2-minute movie. It probably could have wiped off a half hour.
It does seem longer than that when you're watching it.
Yeah, the beginning when it was
it's a slow burn.
When they were in was it India? No,
it was Iran.
When they were in Iran at the beginning, I was just like,
Iraq.
how is this gonna? One of those.
Yeah.
And I guess the only connection was the necklace.
Well, and
did they bury the necklace at the beginning, and then they found it, or was it?
It was uncovered, right?
Or is it vice versa?
Yeah,
that's the one thing I gotta figure out what that connection is besides the necklace.
There is a lot to this story, and so as you dig into it, and I felt like there was a lot of dialogue that if you didn't catch it,
it's very low.
You could easily miss it and not understanding. Like I think this is one of those movies where the more time you see it, the better it gets, because there's a lot of subtleties going on. Like they're introducing characters, but they're not really introducing them. You're watching characters, and then those people show up later on. I didn't get a ton of time to like research this after the fact, but I do know that we watched, and I don't know if we watched the director's cut or the regular theatrical
was the
release.
director's cut.
There are some differences between the two. I don't know what those are.
I feel like we watched the director's cut, but I can't remember. Something we watched the director's cut on.
I did really enjoy this, but I'm by no means an Exorcist expert.
Yeah, when you brought this up to watch, I was like, I don't know if I need to watch it again.
Are you glad?
I mean, sure, because I was reminded of it again, but I was also reminded that the last 45 minutes were the best parts. Like, and I also love the shit she was screaming at people when she was possessed.
Right.
Eat your dick.
Yeah.
Go fuck your friend. I don't know. She said something. She kept saying, if you look up quotes from the movie, it's really funny.
Right.
I'm sure the quotes are on here somewhere, but I just started laughing. I was laughing this time versus like freaking out as a kid.
Right.
Because so I was like, she's telling him to go fuck him.
Right.
Telling the other priest to go have sex with the other one.
When you were a kid, whether you would have grasped that, heard that, understood that. I guess it depends on your age.
Maybe as a kid, that's like hearing those things are like, oh my God, you're telling a priest to go fuck another priest or go eat your dick. I don't know what she said. She said some really horrific things.
And there's a scene where she's also like stabbing her vagina.
Oh my God.
Like it's some...
And like, okay, at the end when when she was done, her vagina's suddenly fine.
Yeah.
If you're stabbing your vagina 1,000 times, just repeat it. I think she had 2 knives. Maybe it was one.
Yeah.
But if you're stabbing down there, it's going to be mangled.
Yeah.
So at the end, she's just in the corner crying because, it's traumatic what she's done.
Yeah.
But you think she would have a blood.
Yeah. She should have bled out.
I mean, even if they treat her.
Yeah.
She should still be mangled down there.
Yeah, that's true.
Would also have to go to the hospital because she mangled her vagina.
Yeah.
They should have called it mangled vagina. The power of Christ compels you.
Power of Christ compels you to give this movie how many jack-o'-lanterns?
Here it is. Your mother sucks cock in hell. You faithless slime.
Yeah.
You want me to read another one?
Sure.
Is this going to get dirty now? Slip your cock into your ass, you motherfucking worthless cocksucker.
I love the idea that the young actress said this stuff.
Oh my God, you're right. They had to get her to say this.
I can't remember her name right now. Horror movie actress, child actress.
Why is she not number
Linda
one?
Blair. God damn it.
Damn it. Why did we forget that? Yeah. I was looking for a little kid photo, and she's full grown, if not alive. Is she alive?
She still is.
Oh yeah, you're right. She looks good actually.
And came back for some other sequels.
Oh, she looks good for her age.
And she was also I think she was in one of the other movies that we watched that's on our list coming up. I feel like.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway.
There was a lot of connections to movies we watched this time, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, really cool.
I mean, you can analyze this movie for hours. I still say it's worth watching. I just think it's slow going at the beginning. So if like you're never seen it, you may get bored at the beginning and try to figure out why the Iran or Iraq scene or whatever it was from connects besides the necklace. I guess the priest that found that necklace in Iran comes into the room.
Yeah.
They put in a lot of effort to show him that he has history.
Yes, that's right.
It's like I don't think it needed to happen. But
they're not spoon feeding this movie to you. You have to be paying attention to really wonder, and I think that's just
listen,
sort of the time.
Because you have to turn it up real loud to hear anything.
Yeah.
I wish they would remaster it in the way that you can hear everything better.
Right.
The infamous step scene where the guy goes out the window down the steps. Like you can go visit these locations too.
So there was pieces of this where I was trying to understand what was happening, and I did miss little pieces of dialogue, I think, here and there. So I might.
Would you like me to read them all to you?
No, I would like to. Those ones I heard.
Because she was like yelling them.
But there was some mumble acting going on here between characters, and I'm just like.
Do you think the mom's a good mom?
Some long scenes. Oh, she's a terrible mom.
I think she was a terrible mom. She's all of a sudden gave a shit about her daughter. I don't know. I didn't really find her mom like that great of a mom. Ooh, look at that. We're just watching the trailer as we talk about it.
Yeah. So the power of Christ compels you to give this how many pumpkins?
I would give it a 4 pumpkins, even though it was a good hour and something before it got to the good stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The makeup still looked really good on her too. Like it isn't cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the whole backwards
The special effects are great.
Yeah.
The practical effects, moving the bed and doing all of this stuff, the projectile vomiting, like a lot of this is disturbing. The makeup is pretty good. Like, I mean, and also, like, imagine, you know, I can't imagine. Neither of us can imagine what it was like in 1973 sitting in a movie theater because we're hard to believe.
Well,
too
okay,
young.
your mom could have been sitting in a theater in 1973 with you in her belly.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I assure you, my mom was not in the theater watching
I
Exorcist.
always say.
Yeah.
When someone's pregnant, I say, when a woman's pregnant and has a boy, I said, you briefly have a dick. Oh, yeah, that's my humor.
And that's how we're going to start
This
this
is how I tell
contest.
Scott all the time. Anyway.
I'm going to give this movie 4 jack-o'-lanterns as well as I try and get this show back on track.
I said a lot of words in this one little segment of movie. And it's the writing in the movie. Mm-hmm. So I give it 4.
You gave it 4. We both gave it 4. And I think it is. You've already said it. I think for a modern audience that watches movies with their phone in their hand, they're not going to like this movie because you're not paying attention.
It's very serious.
But it's
until she starts saying things.
It's a classic for a reason, and I'm glad we got to rewatch it. And I think I'm going to watch it again within the next 5 years because I want to explore it a little bit more. Because I think I'm not going to force you to sit down and watch it with me.
There's something going on outside.
I heard that.
It's picking up the ambulances and fire trucks.
Yeah. I thought you were looking at me like, you're going to watch this again?
No, I'm just hearing fire trucks and stuff going on. I was like, Reagan?
Chauncey.
We're on day 25, and we watched the movie Spookies. A wicked sorcerer tries to sacrifice a group of people inside his house with the intention of using their vitality to keep his wife alive.
1988 horror comedy.
Honestly, just remembered, I didn't realize he was trying to keep his wife alive. I thought she was just trying to leave.
Yeah,
I didn't know she was dead.
The message, it's stated a couple of times throughout this movie.
I don't remember that. I might have had my phone in my hands.
You kind of nailed it. This is, again, we always talk about how shitty movies can be very entertaining, enjoyable, crappy movies, great night. This is one that falls into that category of it's a crap movie, but it's not enjoyable. Like, it's not.
It's okay.
It's okay.
That scene that came up in the basement scene where the guys came out of the ground as ground people.
Yeah.
And they just kept making farting noises. Yeah.
Again.
I mean, maybe you can put that scene in, that little.
No reason.
But just to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It has the awesome graphics of like Saturday the 14th, which I love. The monster. I thought this was going to be along lines of Saturday the 14th because of the way the monsters were in here, but it just ended up being weird. Like weird and
just
not a good way.
And it also not really that funny. Like if you compare it to like Rabid Grannies, that sort of has a similar feel.
Well, that was weird.
There's some okay moments in here, but like I didn't really feel really attached to any of the characters.
Yeah, and I was thinking like at the beginning of it, they showed the kid in the woods.
Scene was amazing.
That was probably the best scene where he stumbles upon a gravestone that says life is so short and has his birth year and the date of the death was now, now in that movie.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, that's weird," and just kept moving on. But life is too short is hilarious. It had potential to be fun, but
I think you're right. It had potential.
Mm-hmm. The practical effects were probably a little bit too amateurish. I don't want to say amateur because I can't do that, but just not enough.
Well, it's low budget.
I guess so.
It's all this and that. One thing that bothers me is you have this poster up in front of me. I feel like they just lifted the Godfather font and rewrote Spookies with it.
They did.
So right away, that just irks me and makes me very mad. There's the characters themselves are like so bad.
The girl with the curly hair, boobs out.
Yeah.
Classic. I don't know.
There was a bad time. Like we need to dwell on it.
I feel like this is a massive skip, and I'm gonna give this like a 1 pumpkin or even a half pumpkin.
Oh, wow.
Half pumpkin.
That's great. That's
I don't even know. I'm going to just say 1 because I don't know if I made a graphic for a half pumpkin.
We still have
and
time.
I'm too lazy to do it. So just know if I put a 1, it's probably a half.
Yeah, that's true. I fully support that, and I would agree. And yeah, I might even.
Someone worked really hard on the practical effects. People acted in this. So
they got it done.
They got it done. They fulfilled a movie. So I'll give them
one
that. One jack-o'-lantern for making a movie and making me watch it in 2024.
Yeah.
Because it was 1986.
Man.
Okay. At least it was only an hour and 25 minutes.
On day 26, our next movie that we watched is 2024's Carved, another horror comedy. Mm-hmm. This is a Hulu original, I believe. A group of survivors find themselves trapped in a historical reenactment village on Halloween where they must unite to battle a sentient, vengeful pumpkin. Basically, pumpkin comes to life and get its revenge because people have been carving its brothers and sisters.
It's babies.
It's babies.
It's babies.
This was a new movie for this year, and this is a fun watch. I'm not going to say it's the best movie.
It's kind of like Trick or Treat.
It has that vibe to it.
Oh, no, Trick or Treat in that storyline, like, don't take down Halloween, but he's the opposite. He doesn't want you to, like, destroy it. I don't know, and maybe it's not. It's funny. I mean, the kills were funny. I like how he just crusted his pumpkin. We're sitting there watching it. Yeah. The trailer when we're doing this. It was a Hulu movie. Dare I say it's a family movie?
No, so we watch.
It's too bloody.
The best part about this is in Canada, the Hulu movies are on Disney Plus. Oh my god! So watching this on Disney Plus just feels hilarious because it's gory, it's disturbing. There's some great kills. Pumpkins get their revenge, and this pumpkin is basically the Terminator. He is focused on hunting down anybody that was in the pumpkin carving contest, and he goes after those people, and there's some amazing kills.
There is some amazing kills. If you love watching, like, really thought out kills, then go for this one. It's fine. I think I'm middle ground on this.
What did you score? It sounds like you're giving this a 3.
Probably a 3, 2.5, 3. I'll just say 3.
Wow, that low.
Only because there was good kills, but just sort of, you could tell it was made for Hulu. I don't know. The concept was really funny.
I would support that. Great concept.
Yeah.
Just okay, like good enough. A 3, I think, is fair. Nothing higher than a 3.
Yeah.
Dropping it to a 2.5 seems a little bit like too mean. A 3. I don't know.
It's getting a 4.4 out of 10, so it's probably right on par. What is it called? The tagline, "Ripe for Revenge."
Yeah, it's a pretty okay tagline. Like I'm gonna say that is a good tagline.
It's labeled as a teen horror.
Well, now I hate it. No,
Monster horror, dark comedy. I would say teen horror is a good representation of that movie.
Yeah.
It's fine. It had some people in it. It had the Chris guy in it. Chris Elliott? No.
Yeah, Chris Elliott was in this movie.
Yeah, it's fine. I feel like I'm middle ground on too.
Would you watch this movie again?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Now, if someone made like another movie where it's pumpkin killing people, I'm sure there's one out there that was a little bit more, I don't know. I can't say gory because I don't like extreme gore, but like, I don't know. I don't know if this is enough to like watch it. I just feel like it was fine.
Yeah.
I love the poster. The graphics are great. There's a couple great kills, and that's about it. So
that's all you have to say.
I feel like sometimes in these movies, they make people think that they're stuck just on this one farm when they can like leave the farm. So I know they tried to leave the farm, but it just feels like people were just standing in fields, and if you go the opposite direction, you don't stand in the middle of a pumpkin patch. I would say 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 2 jack-o'-lanterns. Two jack-o'-lanterns for a pumpkin movie.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I still give it a 3. I don't know. You're the way that you keep talking about it does make me want to lower my score, but I just felt like the concept was okay. There wasn't enough things in it that really like angered me, so I just enjoyed it. Glad we watched it. It's done. I'm never gonna watch it again.
And just think of some of the other things that we've
middle
watched.
ground. Yeah, middle ground.
The next one is Day 27, and the movie's called Tragedy Girls from 2017. It's a horror dark comedy. A twist on the slasher genre following two death-obsessed teenage girls who use their online show about real-life tragedies to send their small Midwestern town into a frenzy and cement their legacy as a modern horror legends.
So basically, two girls that have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
A murder takes place in their town.
Yep.
They're trying to gain some popularity with their social platform and get some status as being basically tapping into like the serial killer podcast genre.
They want to be legends.
Yeah.
And so they end up killing lots of people.
Yeah.
And filming it and looking in the papers the next day to see if people talk about it. If they didn't talk about it, it's like, oh, we should make our kill more obvious. Right. They want to be found out. So, and this has I actually really like this movie.
I like this more than I thought I was going to.
I just thought, we'll just watch it.
Yeah.
And it surprised me. I actually really like this movie.
There's some disgusting moments.
Yeah, there was some disgusting moments, and they seem to be fine with it.
Yeah. So
Jack Quaid, is that Dennis Quaid's kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
From The Boys, as well as the shorter hair girl, the Brianna something. She was in all three Deadpool movies.
Craig Robertson.
Craig Robertson.
I was shocked when I see him show up in this, but it makes sense. It's good. I say watch it. I would give this probably a 4 jack-o'-lanterns because I enjoyed it. I'm surprised. Based on the trailer, I thought it would just be middle ground, but I enjoyed it. It was good.
What I found, I agree with you. What I found with this movie is all of a sudden I was a lot more disturbed watching it than I thought I was going to be.
And lots of surprise things happened that you did not expect them to do.
Yeah.
Especially the ending.
Well, you realize along the way that how like disturbed these two girls are. Mm-hmm. And without spoiling absolutely everything, there's a backstory that comes into this. Because it's one thing, it's just like, oh, these girls just want notoriety. They just want the following. They want the likes. They want all this and that. Mm-hmm. But when they get to a point where they reveal something else, it's like, oh my God. And none of the movies that we saw were that deep and disturbing. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I
think 4 is a good score.
It's a great score, worth the watch for sure.
Yeah. Now the next movie.
Okay. We said we weren't gonna come.
I wasn't going to go back to this.
We were not gonna go back to this neighborhood.
Then we went to Elvira's HorrorCon, and all we saw was the Terrifier. Yeah. Everyone was the Terrifier.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Not everyone.
There was quite a lot of Terrifiers.
The best costumes were?
There was, every time I turned a corner, there was some kind of version of Terrifier.
And so we're talking about Day 28, and we watched Terrifier 2 from 2016. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you watch the first podcast, we're not into this original movie. And
not because of, kind of because of gore, but I also don't like I said, I don't like torturing women as much. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's one thing to like murder, but like torture, just physical torture is terrible. Anyway, no storyline, just bad. There was nothing going on for it. Nothing gave me anything. So that's why I said no more, because it was just not enough for me.
Yeah. What I found with this movie, though, is there was more storyline. The storyline was actually okay, but it still wasn't a great movie. Like, I was enjoying the beginning, and I was like, oh my God, there's more story here. This is great. Okay, this is interesting. Then things not just went off the rails, but by the time we got to the end, I was just kind of angry and pissed off again about this story. Like, why is this? These are not great films. Mm-hmm.
Did we ever read the intro?
You can.
After being resurrected by a sinister entity, Art the Clown returns to the timid town of Miles County, where he targets a teenage girl and her younger brother on Halloween night. Like I said, number one didn't have anything for me. It wasn't good. It wasn't cheesy enough to be amazing. Like, it just wasn't there. It was just like, I fantasized about these murders. Let's put them on camera. Like these are. So anyway, number 2 like you said, had a little bit more storyline, which I was relieved to find out there was. So there's a little bit more going on than just clown shows up and kills people on the street. But I'm glad we watched it. We got through it a couple times. I couldn't look.
Yeah,
because it was like the penis against the glass when he cuts off someone's penis and then puts it just like that kind of stuff is kind of yikes. I knew he was going to do that though. I actually thought he was going to do more than that. He actually surprised me. He didn't go the distance that I thought he would on some things because he did that in the first one.
Yeah. Well, stabbing somebody in the dick and then ripping it off.
But I thought he would go further and stick it in her mouth.
That's true. You did say that.
I mean,
and then it didn't happen. It's like, that seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
You could have done.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just, it was all, you got to see where he lived in his lair or whatever. He lived in a circus. So there's some kind of storyline happening there. I think he still pulled out a gun at some point. I thought he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. I can't remember when, but I feel like it's there. The problem I had with this movie is how art ends up identifying these two characters because there's no threads again. So he's singling out these two people and her friends, and it's not enough for me to really.
He's really obsessed. I guess it's the same as like Halloween where he's obsessed with what's her name. But yeah, but I don't know.
But for no reason. She didn't do anything wrong to him. And the randomness of these of what should be the kills should be the storyline here. Yeah. But because he had to build out a story, because maybe you realize, oh, there's not enough story. I got to build something on. Anyways, the story itself starts to make sense. But then there's like some mind stuff going on. There's some people seeing things. The brother sees some things. The sister sees some things. It's like, how? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense of how they're connected to art.
No, and he killed the whole household. Her whole family's.
Yeah, and
wait, her brother survived. Sorry, her brother. Her brother was at the end. They walked away.
She survives too. Yeah.
Okay. And she moves on to like 3, I think.
Again,
I'm glad I watched it because it made me go, okay, they were just new when they did 1, 2, they're starting to get a little better, and now it's having me go, is 3 their best film? But I already know what's in 3. I haven't seen it, but I've watched some people talk about it and what's gone on, and I'm like, oh my God.
I feel like we're going to end up hate watching 3 next year. Like, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to do video on demand.
I'm not paying for it.
I'm not paying for it, Jerry. Like, I'm going to wait for it so we can watch it for free.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to have the same critiques.
So we watched the Sean Clark on YouTube. He's a manager for a lot of these celebrities that he brings to Comic-Cons, and he's a big horror fan, and he collects a bunch of stuff. He knows a lot of these people. Like, he did a whole day on the Terrifier 3 set. And it gave me an appreciation for it, which made me want to watch. That's probably what more made me want to watch, too.
You're absolutely right.
He was filming the infamous baby scene in 3, or the crazy baby scene in 3. He was there for that and showed some of it. Didn't show, like, it up close, but he showed clips of it. Yeah. And showed them behind the scenes doing it. Because the guy who does the effects... phenomenal. Is like famous. Yeah. I can't remember his name right now, but he was, so I appreciate that. I love behind the scenes stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out.
And you're right. That's the thing that pushed us over the edge to actually watch the second one, because they showed a couple of, in Sean Clark's video, he cut in a couple of the cinematics from the movie. And it's just like, oh, God damn it. That looks actually really good. Yeah. Like, it looked like a professional movie now. And whatever. Like, when, I'm not going to say I regret watching this movie. It's just, I think it's just going to fall into this category where there's certain things I hate watch, and I'm going to critique the shit out of it because I want things to be perfect.
But when we see Art the Clown now,
love him.
We're like, hey.
You know what? When we watched that first one and a couple of people are like, yeah, the movie's disturbing, but I love Art the Clown, I kind of get what they're talking about now.
Yeah, I guess so. And you know, we were actually at HorrorCon. We talked to people, different vendors, about this movie, and then other people joined in on the conversation. Yeah. And they said they went and saw it, and they liked it. Didn't they say they liked it?
but were like, oh yeah, it was like disgusting. Like they
and I asked them how many people walked out, and they said there was like 1 or 2. And then the people we were originally started talking to, or they haven't seen it yet, but they're hesitant.
Yeah.
Because of the same reason. So we had multiple conversations to people about this movie. So clearly this movie's done something to us. And we've talked about it quite a lot.
We have.
What does that make us? Does that make us fans? Or does it make us horrified fans that can't look away?
I don't know, but how would you even score this? Because
Terrifier 1, I gave it a 2.
What did I give
I'm going to give Terrifier 2
a
3 pumpkins.
Wow.
Because there was a bitty story. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. He still brings up, I still don't think slasher, like, horror should have guns. Not because of the gun, because it's a gun. It just seems wrong. When you watch, Halloween or Friday the 13th, they never pulled out a gun. No. If they did it now, you'd be like, unless they did it in like the New York movie or whatever. Like, I stopped watching after the good Halloweens and Friday the 13th. Yeah. But it just seems weird. Mm-hmm. It feels like they need to use rusty saws and stuff. I don't feel like they need to pull out, well, that failed, I might as well pull out my handgun.
Right.
I mean, it's just weird.
Well, I mean, to go back to the whole Scream one, when there's that speech about the rules and you can't break the rules, like, I hadn't watched enough horror back in the day to realize, oh, yeah, that's right, but there are those rules. So now when you have a movie that just comes along and does those sorts of things, but I know what he's going for. He's just, like you said, what is going to disturb people? What is the most horrible thing I can think of? And then I'll try and write a story around that. So I think he comes closer than he did the first trial run of Terrifier.
It almost feels like Terrifier 2 should have been his first movie.
Well,
but
I mean, do we watch
there's
stories?
There's actually more before Terrifier. There's those other ones.
Yeah.
That look just like Art the Clown, but have nothing to do with Art the Clown, just some other sub-story.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll go there, though. I just curious is because we keep going and we keep seeing him and we keep talking about it. Is it secretly turning? Is it doing what he wanted it to do?
Which is
making us somewhat of a fan and horrified fan. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I don't know what's happening. I just know my eyes have been seeing too much.
Well, here's something that's telling. We watched the first one and we're like, we both said we had no interest. We went on record saying there's no way in hell we're watching this movie. Now we watched it, and now I'm saying I'm going to hate watch number 3. So I'm at least looking forward to it, if you can call it that. I'm not out of the franchise yet.
I do know what we're in for. I know the shower scene. I know the baby scene. I know all the weird scenes. And then people are disagreeing on which scene was the more horrifying scene. Yeah. But I'm prepared for those. Right. I mean, if you're really sensitive to like seeing babies and stuff get hurt, then don't watch 3.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty horrific. And I haven't seen it yet, and I already know what happens.
I don't think I gave my score. I too am going to give this 3 pumpkins or 3 jack-o'-lanterns.
It's moved up. Will number 3 go to 4?
I don't know. I don't know. But we'll leave it there. Yeah,
I think so. If you're a fan, you'd be proud we watched it. So I had tried to eat dinner, and it was hard to eat. Don't eat dinner watching Terrifier.
No, you don't do it.
Okay, so you're gonna love the next one. Okay, the 2 things this season when we were watching movies, you requested 2 movies this year. Yes. You said The Shining and The Exorcist, and I was like, guess I'll watch it again. Like those are the things. So we ended up doing those. So the next one is The Shining.
So day 29.
And I didn't say that in a way that I don't like them. I've seen it. I want to find this really stupid movie like Zombiever. I just want to find the next best thing.
Well, and also great point, because we want to watch things that we haven't seen before. And when you do that, you're going to end up watching movies like Spookies, or you're going to watch Graduation Day. And so sometimes you want to go back to a classic. Now, there is an internal debate going on here between you and I on the last time that we've seen this movie. You claim that we watched it more frequently.
We've watched it before. You made it sound like we never watched it together. And we have.
and I'm probably wrong in that respect.
I know everything.
And I can't disagree with you, but I also have zero memory of that experience. What I do have, again, going back, this was the movie that scarred me when I was a very young kid. And I mentioned this to my mom the other day, and she was like, well, I didn't let you watch it because I've never seen it. And I'm not sure if that's true. So therefore, I must have watched this movie. Like my brothers might have been watching this movie.
It was probably a brother
older
thing.
brothers, something like that. Anyways, so I have this category. If I haven't seen this movie and I'm 20 years plus, I feel like I've never truly watched this movie. So you're saying we watched it somewhere in my 40s, but I don't remember. And again, I've got all of the visuals in my mind. I've got the kid on the big wheel going down the hall. Like there's all these amazing shots. And then I've got the Mad Magazine version that I flipped through as well as a kid.
You relied on Mad Magazine
Oh my
a
God,
lot.
it was everywhere in our house.
Yeah, you relied on it quite a lot.
The thing of older brothers, right?
Yeah,
so
I think it was more of a boys thing. I don't think I bought it as much. My brothers did.
So
I would look at the covers at the store and I'm like, and 13-year-old laugh. But never, I bought Archie's a lot.
Yeah. So let me ask you, with a little bit of I have my opinions of rewatching this. I'm very curious to know what you thought, because you were a little bit hesitant. What did you think?
First of all, do we need to read what it's about for
I
people
thought we
who've never
did.
seen it? But I will do it.
Okay, let's do that.
A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter, where a sinister presence influences the father into violence. At the same time, his psychic son sees horrifying foreboding from both the past and the future. Yeah, we have seen it. I know we've seen it. It's sometime between us living in Marple and here. We've seen it.
We own the Blu-ray, and
if we own the Blu-ray, we've popped it in.
Sometimes there's a whole bunch of the Kubrick
Go see if there's fingerprints on it.
There's a whole bunch of the Kubrick. We bought Full Metal Jacket. Haven't watched it. We bought what's the other one that's coming up here that I'm just seeing? Clockwork Orange. I haven't rewatched it. Like so, there was a period of time where we were buying things like crazy and not necessarily having the time to watch it.
Yes, but that one we did because we both like Shining.
Fair enough.
So
but I want to know what you thought of the experience.
I still think it holds up really, really well. I mean, I did buy a Shining, his face in the door.
Yes.
Book end thing.
Yep. Jack Torrance.
At the HorrorCon.
Technically, I bought that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I convinced you, but you did see it and I didn't see it. You looked right. I looked right past it.
Right.
So okay, you bought it. We did buy that, and then, but watching this again.
Oh my God! I just saw what we were talking about, which was the big giant camera. How did they do the dolly? And they just had this big crazy rig.
They're telling you how many takes it took. This took 85 takes. Them walking in the kitchen.
Oh my God! See, I want to
50 takes for the kid playing on the carpet with the cars.
Oh my God!
60 takes of him horrified looking at the ceiling. Wow.
So now I'm gonna throw in these visuals. But anyways.
So I think it holds up still scary as hell. I didn't go, why did you do that? Like everything was done in a way like you would totally do that. Like, I don't know. It's still good. I want to go stay at this hotel.
Yeah. This hotel is in Oregon.
The kid is so good.
So we could potentially road trip to this hotel.
We could. The kid is so good in this, and like the whole like twin thing. And I if you haven't seen it, I don't know what to tell you. The whole thing is good. I don't want to give everything away. Although I did get angry at him with throwing a ball against a tennis ball against the ceiling or the wall a lot. I was like, dude, you're supposed to take care of the hotel, not destroy it.
But you know what? In the whole scheme of things, that's the most mild thing that they do to that hotel.
It is. It's very mild. But what freaking family would agree to go stay in the middle of nowhere in the winter and take your child to spend the winter in a hotel? Your child's going to go crazy.
Yeah, no school?
No, I don't know what.
Because it's not summer.
Yeah, it's winter. Is it winter? No, because they were there for 5 months. 5 months for a child by himself with no friends.
Yeah.
He's going to lose his freaking mind.
Yeah.
So what family would agree to that? Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's weird. And I still don't understand the food thing because you can't have milk delivered. Like, I know they had a stockpile of food, but what about perishables?
Yeah, milk doesn't last that long. So, yeah. And I mean, were they having powdered milk for 5 minutes? I might go nuts.
I would go nuts living. Yeah. I mean, you'd think it'd be fun and you'd have lots of things to do. Mm-hmm. But if that's the case, I need to bring a truck full of stuff so I can have things to do because I don't know. And then they took the alcohol away. So what the fuck? You can't even get drunk.
So was there anything that stood out to you in this movie seeing it with fresh eyes that you were like impressed you, or well, you said the boy.
The boy is really good. God, I was just thinking of all the scenes. I'm just refreshing here so I can see a trailer. It's just his face every time. That weird scene with that he looked in the room and he was sitting on the edge of the bed with a guy dressed up as like a bear.
Right. Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Is he seeing things of past in the hotel?
Yeah, I think so.
That was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that face he makes.
Yeah. They're pretty ridiculous performances. Like, I mean, we've seen Jack Nicholson in so many roles over the years, and he's a bit of a spoof of himself.
Yeah.
But seeing him kind of younger in his prime and slowly going crazy, like I actually feel like he was too much of a jerk at the beginning of this movie.
He was.
Like,
he was very mean to his wife.
He should have been a little
her.
bit nicer, because when he's in that interview, you know, he's pretty smooth and pretty suave and kind of cool guy. But then the next scene when he's with his wife and family, like, he's too much of a jerk at the beginning. Would have been a little bit nice. Yeah, let me tell Kubrick how to make a movie.
He was such a dick to his wife.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, do you even like her?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't even, like, he was a dick to his wife.
Unless, of course,
yeah,
if I'm led to believe, since he's already gone to the hotel, there's something he's already been possessed. So even though that he left and he's coming back, so there could be that. So
other movies we watch prove the fact that it doesn't have to be the hotel.
Right.
But, okay.
So...
yeah,
I was blown away. Like, as we were watching this movie, like, the fact that the camera movement in this for a movie from 1980, cameras were big. They weren't really, you know, you couldn't move them around as easy, right? So the fact that it was so fluid, you know, the fact that he's rolling over the carpet and the floor, and you're hearing that, like,
the sound of him rolling to me was so brilliant. Like. And we had a discussion about how low the camera had to be, and I was like, how did they do it? Did they just put the camera on a flatbed? Like, we were trying to think maybe he was on a bike,
right?
Or we were just trying to figure out how they filmed that scene, because they were pretty low. And so, but I was very impressed with that scene and the sound. That sound it showed how quiet that fucking place was.
Yeah.
And in that green bathroom, I just saw that there, and the red, everything was crazy.
And it was fun, because my takeaway of the movie from, like, decades ago was the red rum and the talking with the finger. Again, thank you, Mad Magazine, for really embedding these visuals into my brain. But then, like, when you're watching this movie and you're watching it unfold, because this is a bit of a slow burn too. And what I love is that he's the caretaker, and then she's doing all the work.
You know what? It's a brilliant film. Never gets old. And we can probably talk about this movie for hours. Although, also, they just showed the Apollo sweater that little kid was wearing.
Yeah.
Can you please recreate the Apollo sweater? I want that sweater. I also want to go in that maze.
Yeah, so the maze doesn't exist, unfortunately. There's a little bit of the facade of the front of the maze, but the maze, all of that stuff was filmed elsewhere. I found that out recently. It's such a great movie. I don't know if you'd think that this is such a slow unfolding process like The Exorcist was.
I don't think so.
Like,
I was worried about that because I haven't seen it in a while, and I was like, oh, it goes pretty quick.
Yeah. This is enjoyable. I guess what I again, I was just so impressed. It's really well done. There's a lot more carpet going on in this movie that they could have pulled from too. The carpet that everybody knows is fantastic.
I was just watching.
There's other carpets though.
I was just watching because it keeps repeating the screen of the trailer, and where the kid's sitting on the carpet with the cars. How many scenes? How many takes did it take to get that ball to go right down the line of the carpet?
Yeah.
Like, that's how genius this movie is. They're like, no, it can't be
specific.
Just sporadic. It has to go between
and stop at the right point. Right?
Like, everything is done to perfection.
Yeah.
Actually, I think his wife was the star of this movie. Her like, when she was in the bathroom, he's breaking down the door, her reaction would look really generally scared.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Shelley Duvall. She
was fantastic. I mean, he was good too, but just look at her more, because she really did do all the work in the hotel. She would really she really, like, stuck up to him and, like, didn't take his shit after a while. Like, she was fantastic.
So let's get to the scores, man.
Okay.
Let's see. What did you...
I keep reading facts that come in.
I know. It's
and
riveting.
We're both like
mesmerized.
We're already, like, into it again.
I mean, are you giving this movie a 5?
This is a 5. 5 jack-o'-lanterns all the way. I'm it inspired me to want to go to locations and stay at the hotel.
So this is one of those instances where a movie that we pulled out from the past, where we were both. I mean, you were iffy about it. It
Not
paid
iffy
up.
about, just iffy because I remember it being slow going, and I knew I loved it, but I wasn't into it at the moment.
Right.
Like, I have to be in a certain mood to watch certain movies. So.
But you're happy you'd watch it. You would recommend it. I mean, would you watch this movie again?
Always.
10 years?
Always.
Sorry. Okay.
Always. Yeah, I'd definitely watch it again. I think if it just came on TV, I'd start watching it again.
But that experience doesn't happen anymore, I guess, unless we're in a hotel room or something like that.
Yeah,
But, yeah, it's going to get watched again. Really, really amazing and really, really enjoyable. And I gave it 5 jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes,
as well.
there's. If you give anything lower, you're messed up.
Yeah.
Because this thing is brilliant.
So moving on into the home stretch, day 30. This was something that I forgot existed. It came out in 2019. This was a movie that probably came out during COVID, I would think, or maybe before. But we're talking about
2019.
What did I say?
Before you said before COVID.
Yeah.
I like everything's based on when COVID happened.
Yeah, but COVID was like 2019, February.
2020, wasn't it? It doesn't matter. It was 2019. So base it on whatever your history is.
Your history with COVID. We're talking about Dr. Sleep, which not apparently, it's a sequel to The Shining. I'm going to let you read.
And also, it's hard to find.
Yes.
We had to actually buy it. Years following the events of The Shining from 1980. 1980 was The Shining?
Yeah.
A now adult Dan Torrance must protect a young girl with similar powers from a cult known as the True Knot. I didn't know they were called the True Knot. Who prey on children with powers to remain immortal. I never heard about this movie.
I had heard about this movie around the time that it came out, then completely forgot about it. And this was the perfect opportunity for us to watch it. And we watched the trailer, and I think, because, yeah, like you said, you didn't have any idea. And so you're like, okay, Shining was great to watch again. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for you now.
You're speaking for me?
Apparently.
Just puppet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, actually, this came out in November of that, whatever year it came out,
2019.
Yeah, 2019, yeah.
So what I do like about this movie is, if you don't read the synopsis, which I don't think I did, I think we just read or watched the trailer.
You just told me Shining 2, basically, and...
But yeah, and basically, and that sounded interesting. What I love about this is, yeah, you got Ewan McGregor, but I like the idea that, like, oh, what did happen to Dan Torrance after he grew up? So there's elements that I love, and then there's some elements we're going to talk about which I don't love. Like, I love the kind of, if we're going to call it expanded universe, then we're going to call it that.
It's an expanded universe.
But yes, we find him older. We find him an alcoholic. We find him, really not figuring stuff out. And then I forgot when we watched The Shining about the whole Shining thing, about how he can kind of communicate, and he can communicate with different people.
And this is what I was going to say. They called him psychic in the first one, but they're actually calling it, that's why it's called The Shining. He has the shining, which is sort of that psychic ability, and so they're called The Shining. The Shinies or The Shining? I have the shine.
They shine. Yeah.
They have the shine.
So some of these, they've brought in some of the characters from the original movie, but with different actors, obviously. So you can't necessarily get Shelley Duvall, who passed away this year.
They reenacted some of the scenes.
Yeah, there's
as flashbacks, so they wouldn't mess up who's who.
Right.
But they did a good job reenacting it, because they showed Ewan McGregor. Well, that's not even a reenactment at that point. They showed. Well, we'll get to that in a moment, because this scene here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your take? What did you think of this movie?
I generally liked it. It's getting a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. I mean, what are they called? The True Knot people?
Yeah.
Were kind of the lamest part of the thing.
They're really good at the beginning.
Yeah. But
over time,
they did try to set it up for more, because they said there's more of us out here. I'm just the prettiest.
Which you don't need to turn
That was
Shining
a weird.
into
That
a
was
franchise.
a weird line. I feel like they were trying.
Yeah.
I liked it. Ewan McGregor was great. I liked the little girl in it who played like had the most powers in it in the beginning or in the thing. That scene is weird. Why is it playing that? I liked it. I think I'm middle ground on this one.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot to it's hard to explain these movies because there's so much going on, but basically there was a scene where they're clearly killing kids to stay alive longer.
yeah.
In the little boy, the baseball player, that was a hard scene to watch because it really was a close-up shot of his face while a group of them surrounded him, and so they have to dig into whoever they're killing and just slowly kill them so they can suck the essence out of them.
Yeah, right.
So they would just like dig a knife into him and twist it just to get more,
Yeah.
You get more.
Right.
And watching that kid scene, what a hell of an actor.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was
a lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I can watch a lot, but that was a lot. That poor kid. And then the brilliance of that part was you didn't see any blood until, like, when they got really into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just went a little splash his face. Just a light splash. Like,
Yeah.
it was a horrible scene to watch. But also explain how brutal those people are. They just don't care.
We should also point out that this is a sequel. It was a book first. So this is Stephen King's story. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when I thought about this, it's like, oh, how do you make a sequel to The Shining? What do? You just put characters back in the hotel? It's like, no. So it's interesting that they're exploring other facets of it. And so you have people that are actually able to communicate kind of across many, many miles.
But did you ever know why it was called The Shining?
No.
So now they explain why it was called The Shining. That was the one thing they failed at in The Shining is to explain why it was called The Shining.
He talk about that a little bit because the guy, remember the chef had the conversation with Danny, Doc, about The Shining. He was explaining what it was.
Did he say he had the shine?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He had the shine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they expanded on that.
Right. But I ultimately where it ends up, like it gets a little bit, and I'm going to say I did fall asleep during this movie. This is also a 3-hour movie, so no.
It didn't need to be 3 hours.
No.
Because it was mostly them going, we get it. You're killing kids that have the shine so you can stay alive longer.
And we did watch the director's cut, which has about an extra half hour into it.
That's right.
So that really drew it out. But I wanted to see the whole vision. And I enjoyed a lot of this movie. But by the time that we get to like the third act, that's when we actually get back to the Overlook Hotel. Mm-hmm. But along the way, I was thinking like, oh, okay, we're not there yet. We're not getting there. When does he go there? I know he goes there because I've seen it in the trailer. Yeah. But like, I enjoyed the story up till we sort of got to the climax, and then I don't know. It just sort of fell apart.
It was weird. They just did reenactments basically. So when
I didn't mind
when the original
that.
one, when the wife went up the stairs with an axe and she's fighting him off or keeping away, they did that same scene with Dan at the top of the stairs.
They kind of reversed.
They reversed roles, and it was the woman from the group, the True Knot, and a lot of scenes were reenacted. They reenacted the bathroom scene where he sticks his head through the door.
Yeah. They went into room 237.
Yeah, and they showed more of what happened in the original because they didn't show much of that. So they did a lot of reenacting, probably just explaining stuff. I think it's fine. I think it's worth the watch. If you're a Shining fan, you should definitely watch it because Ewan McGregor is good at it.
If you're a Shining fan, you probably have watched this, I would imagine.
We were Shining fans and haven't watched it.
Well, but I had 20, 30 years in between watching them. But
yeah, it's...
Would you recommend this movie?
I'd say watch it, for sure. Because it's an interesting concept, and the baseball kid scene was horrific.
Yeah. There's enough good stuff in this movie that I would recommend it. How would you score it?
Well, we gave The Shining a 5.
Yeah. By no way is this movie getting a 5.
I would say I'd give it a 3.
I was thinking along the same lines.
A 3 jack-o'-lanterns. Yeah, I think so.
So it begs the question, and where does I'm curious to know about the difference between the book, because apparently Stephen King hated the movie The Shining. And I'm curious to know where he stands with
Was
this.
he not involved in making it?
No, he wrote. took the book. The book had been out for years, I believe.
Well, what's different in the book? I
Not
haven't read
sure.
the book.
Let us know. Let us know what the differences are. Also, what did you think of this? Do you think this was a well worth remake? What I do like about it is the things that it made homage to, like some of the replications. Also, I just saw they were comparing Elsa walking through the snow with Jack Torrance walking through the snow, and some of those shots are the same.
Are you serious?
My life is... Okay.
If we can find that again.
There's a whole other podcast.
Okay, so Dr. Sleep, we both agreed. Did you give it a 3 pumpkins?
Yeah, I gave it 3 jack-o'-lanterns as well.
I feel like I don't want to explain too much in this movie, so we're just going to use your... Go watch it, I guess, and...
I think maybe read what the differences are between the two movies, because the theatrical cut might be better. I don't know. Like, it was a slog to get through 3 hours.
I actually agree with you. I think the theatrical cut would be better. I think it went on too long for the extra 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And the one time I disagree with that. I think you're right. So I would go and watch just the original cut. There's a reason why they cut this one.
Yeah.
It was too long. So get to the good stuff faster.
Also, I don't know. Here's something before we leave this note. Dr. Sleep. Like, I wondered what that title was, what that title meant. And when we find him, when I would say Danny finds his sort of life's calling in the middle of this movie, it makes sense. But I just wonder if that's the correct title for this whole movie. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed it in the moment, but I don't feel
it wasn't much about him doing that.
I mean, you could have called
he
this
worked
movie...
for hospice.
You could have called this movie The Shine or something like that. Like, you're not calling it The Shining 2. You're calling it Dr. Sleep. So the average person wouldn't know this is related to The Shining unless they started reading about it. So I just don't know if the title is the perfect title. Day 31. We finally made it. 2018's Hereditary.
It's a psychological horror. A grieving family is haunted by a tragic and disturbing occurrence. That's the whole tagline. Right up.
This is one of those movies. We've seen this young actress at a couple of Comic-Cons. We saw her at HorrorCon this past year.
I just saw one of the scenes.
We were standing about 5 feet away from her. I hadn't seen the movie. This was one of those things where it's just like, hey, have we watched Hereditary? Yeah, I think we did. No, we didn't.
So the girl who played Charlie, her real name is Millie Shapiro.
Yeah.
So she's much older now. They made her look very odd in this movie.
Yeah. But we were somewhere recently and somebody's like, oh, you got to watch Hereditary. And...
Yeah, at a party. At a Halloween.
Right.
On Halloween, actually.
Yeah, and then we came home and watched this.
And I do love Toni Collette. She's one of my favorite actresses of all time.
100%.
I think if they ever played my mom's life story, she should play my mom.
You'll have to write that.
Yeah.
But I agree. What I don't agree with is, I don't know, I'm conflicted over this movie.
It's very slow going, but there's some extremely shocking moments, for sure. Especially the first shocking moment. Everybody in the family is basically messed up. And her on the mom's side.
Yeah.
Like her kids and the grandmothers and all this stuff.
I don't think we'll give away too much of the storyline that happens in this movie.
It has a very... I just got that scene now since we watched where he saw himself in the reflection, because at the end when they said he was like one of the 8 kings.
Okay.
So, but she was fantastic. I forgot about that too. Toni Collette was fantastic, but I don't know if it's the best movie I've ever seen.
No.
Like someone said.
I
feel it was too slow.
That's not a good.
And I like a good psychological thriller.
I was expecting to be more scared watching this movie.
Yeah.
I was never really scared I was never really scared, and I thought this movie was going to give me the goosebumps. I thought this was going to be more ghostly. That's what I got out of the trailer, and that's what I got when people were talking about it.
Yeah.
And the sort of the passion that people had for this movie, I didn't get that at all. And I just felt like...
Well, Toni Collette was good.
The performance is unbelievable.
Yeah.
She has never been bad at anything, and she really carries
I've
this
never
movie.
hated a movie that she wasn't in. But
100%. And I think here's where things frustrated me with this movie. The dad character mumbles his way through this movie.
Unfazed by anything.
This is something Byrne. Gabriel Byrne, I think is his
Oh,
name.
I thought you said something's burning. I'm like, what?
I can't even see, like, he's a better actor than this. His character is crappy. His dialogue, he kind of mumbles all the way through. He kind of doesn't care about the kids in this movie. And also the sound was up and down, so it's like I can't hear what he's singing.
He kind of cared towards the end. He threatened to take the kid away.
But that was the one scene, right? Like,
the most shocking moment is the daughter. Yeah. Everything the daughter does, I thought she was going to be the person doing the horrific things.
Yeah.
But end up horrific things happen to her.
Right.
So the most shocking thing.
Yeah.
I honestly think I don't recommend this movie. I think you're just going to get mad at the end of it.
I would recommend it if you want to see a great actress in her moment. Like her Toni Collette is terrific. You could watch any of her other movies and be like, "Oh my God, she's great," and have the same thing, right? So maybe it doesn't matter. I just another thing that bothered me: both the kids. Are you guys shampooing your hair at all? Their hair like gross and
everything is just
gross. But that's a stupid point.
There were some unexplained moments too, because they know that the brother caused the accident.
Yeah.
And there was no police involved. No. It was just like next day, kids upset. That's about it.
Yeah.
Usually when something like that happens, I kind of feel like police are involved. The kid may be brought in for questioning. I've never seen a movie just throw off a horrific accident.
Right.
And say, kids.
And that's kind of what I mean about the dad character, because if you're not going to show that, then show the dad, like, working something else to, it's like there's a secondary family tragedy that happens, and the son's involved, and so... But he's just sort of reading the newspaper in every shot of this movie,
I think he was trying to act towards the end. He was like, "I'm calling the police. That's messed up. You're crazy. My wife is crazy. You're crazy." She's just saying you're crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm calling the police. I'm not playing your games anymore. She was trying to get him to do some ghosty things where you call up the dead, and he had to throw a book in the fire. But if you throw the book in the fire, you set yourself on fire, which he was set on fire.
Right.
She didn't seem to be fazed by him dying.
No.
She seemed to be, she's clearly possessed or something.
And maybe I was starting to fall asleep at the end of this movie too.
Exactly.
Where I felt
That's why I'm saying it's not worth it.
Where I missed some of these things. Because the other thing, this movie has like these amazing, she makes these models or dioramas of things.
Never explain what her job is.
I don't get it.
They're like, "Can we see some of your project?" You know, the annoying person asking for it.
Yeah.
And she had 5 months to do it. But it never explained what she's making this life portrait, models of her life. Like, she was making, like, houses with her family. She even recreated the car accident scene of her daughter. I'm not going to say what it is, because if you want to be... You only watch this if you want to see the one freaky scene with the daughter, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But then, the ending, when they reveal everything, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in that freaky, weird ending. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is weird. What the hell? They're like, he's the 8th king of hell? Like, what the fuck?
And that's kind of that thing where, like, did I miss something? Did I miss something in the mumbles? Or is it just not explained?
Yeah.
Or did I fall asleep?
I don't know. I'm actually bored talking about it. Because it just doesn't make any sense what we just watched, which is too bad.
Would you score this movie?
I'm going to give this movie a 2.
Wow.
And only a 2 because I was very surprised at the car accident scene. It got me there because that's not where I thought it was going. That's the only reason I'm giving it a 2.
Interesting.
And I like Toni Collette.
Yeah. So I
feel like I'm letting her down, though, with the 2, but my opinion doesn't matter.
Your opinion does matter.
Not to Toni Collette.
It really does. I'm going to give this a 3 jack-o'-lanterns for exactly what you said. There was, early on in this movie, there's some edits that happen that are they're not jarring, but they're sort of unusual, and they caught my eye at the beginning, but then stylistically later on, these kind of weird little jump cuts. Normally, like, all of a sudden, you're in a scene, you're topping, and then, like, we're cutting because the next scene is going to be, the transition to the school. Usually there's, not just a harsh cut
Yeah.
into the classroom. There's some sort of transition outside of the school, a car driving, something like that. This movie immediately cuts to being in the classroom. Then later on, they have a close-up of the son in his bedroom, and then it cuts and he's the same position in the classroom. And then it's just like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool. That was neat.
There was some cool scenes, because like when the mother was in the house outside after the daughter dies.
Yeah.
She put up all the heaters because it's cold out there.
Mm-hmm.
The reflection of the red coming from there in his eyes in bed was a cool shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's things like that I really liked. And some of these stylistic filming things were really, really cool. What I was talking about too, where there's a shot of the house in the daylight and then boom, it clicks to night.
That was cool.
And yeah. So I like these elements. I just can't give it more than a 3.
Yeah. I just saw the knocking on the attic thing, how she was knocking with her head.
Oh, yeah.
That was weird.
So for me, it missed out on some of the scary stuff. What was sort of promised to me didn't get delivered on. It was a very different kind of movie. But there was shock. There was this and that. And as I said, Toni Collette's performance was grand.
Yeah, and it's giving a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, I feel like it might be overrated, sadly.
We've done it all.
I have some movies I still want to watch in November, so I don't know. I'm not done with horror films yet.
We're not gonna do podcasts on them, but we are going to start doing the podcast more regular. So we'll do that. But however, we're not gonna stop watching these horror movies because there is a bunch of other things, and Shudder is still putting up stuff, and it looks like some great stuff in there.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch Thanksgiving, even though it looks horrific, because they like bake a human for the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
So gross.
But tell us, do you have any other additions? Any comments? What you thought about these movies? Do you think we were wrong? Do you disagree?
Did you watch any of those?
Did you watch
in the
any
month
of
of October?
these?
Yeah.
Or other things that you might recommend throughout history that you'd like to watch or recommend? Or what are your favorites?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. And if you made it this far, again, little stabby icon.
Oh, put the little knife icon in the
comment.
in the comments.
Let us know.
Yeah, that's nice. I like the stabby. I'm glad you're doing it up high though.
It's very different.
It's stabby and the other
you
thing.
gotta go high.
You gotta go.
But if you start moving out, then that's different.
Double stabby.
Yeah, it's very. Gotta be careful.
Yes.
Gotta be careful out there. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit that like button. Give us a comment. Hit that subscribe button too. And until next time.
Wait. Goodbye, humans.
Sound effect buttons are fun.
That's the sound of dinosaurs dying. That's nice. Can you do that every day?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.